everybody, and welcome to another Cricut craft tutorial. Before we get started, make sure you hit that big red subscribe button down below. That way you can be part of my crafty family here on YouTube. And if you hit that little bell icon right next to it, that's going to alert you to when I post a new video or when I go live. I'm so excited for this tutorial because I've been wanting to show you guys how to use one more product from my mystery box. And in today's video, we are going to use the Siser Electric. I'm going to use two colors. We're going to use my favorite peacock and my other favorite cherry. These are such pretty colors together, and I can't wait to show you guys how to use them. I'm going to show you how easy it is to do a knockout design in Inkscape, and we're going to make this design right here my very favorite saying of happy crafting. You can download the SVG for this for free at my website, linked down below. And while you're over there, feel free to join my newsletter. That's how you can keep in touch with me. I'm going to be adding some coupon codes for SVGs on my website, as well as keeping you guys up to date on everything that is going on with me in YouTube world and in all the other things that I do. If you haven't checked me out on other social media, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and I'm now on Amazon Live. I'll be going live from time to time over there. I'll link my store down below for you guys, and you can follow me there, and it will alert you to when I go live. So let's get started. I can't wait to show you how easy this is. I'm really excited to teach you guys how to do this technique in Inkscape, but I'm also going to give you guys the free SVG for this as well, so don't fret. But it's a really easy thing to do, and it's really, really fun. You're going to use a similar knowledge that what you learned when I taught you guys how to do the offset to do this knockout. So what we're going to do is first hit the little A over here in the left hand side, and I'm just going to type in the word happy. Now it is again pretty small and hard to see, so what I always do is I select my selection tool, which is the arrow in the upper left hand corner, hold Control on my keyboard and pull this out, and thankfully I did because apparently I can't spell. But when it's that small, it's really hard to see, so I like to make it a lot bigger. I'm going to go back to my selection tool really quick and just move this over a little bit so it's more centered on the screen for you guys. And now what I'm going to do is double click on my word so that I can change my font if I want to. I don't know that I do. I actually kind of like this one. When I do knockouts, I like something really thick and heavy to do a knockout with, but let's take a look and just sort of see if there's anything else that might be kind of fun to work with. But again, when I do a knockout, I really do like to have that center text be something a lot thicker. That way you can really, really see when you type in your words. Like this is actually a really good font. This is the Gill Sans Ultra Bold. This should be on your computer. So we're going to use this font, but before we do anything else, I definitely need to change that letter spacing, right? It's way too far apart. So we need to change the spacing on these letters. It's really, really far apart for what we want to do with it. So what you can do is you can either do this two ways, and I'll show you both ways because I think that one way is slightly easier than the other. So this has a letter spacing option, just like Cricut Design Space. So what you'll do is this first set of A's, so spacing between letters, and this is done in pixels, so it's really, really like big numbers that we're going to have to space. So I'm going to go with a -30 and see if that's pretty close to where I want it. It actually is. -30 looks pretty good. But if you don't want to have to sit there and try to figure out how many pixels, what you can do is I'm just going to hit undo really quick so that I can show you the other way. What you'll do is you'll select your font, go to Path, click Object to Path, and then Object Ungroup. What that does is it turns each letter into its own piece, so you can manually move them around. Now what I'm going to do, because see how it kind of is trying to grip onto these other letters, I don't really want it to do that. I find that kind of annoying. Now in this case it is kind of helpful, but like the P isn't quite right. So let me hit undo a couple times really quick because I don't want to move them like that. So what I'm going to do is up here in the upper right hand corner is disable the snapping tool. That's this little guy right here. And now what I'm going to do is select my letters and move them over manually. Again, you can do this either with the kerning or do it manually, whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong way. It's just whatever makes you happy and whatever works best in your mind. So don't worry if you don't like the way I do it, you can do it your way. So what I'm going to do now is select the entire font. I'm going to go to Path and Union. That's going to make that path, and it's all one piece now so that we can do our knockout. So of course we're going to use the fun old saying I use on all my videos of happy crafting. So I'm going to type in the word crafting, and again I'm going to use the arrow selection key, holding control, and I'm going to pull this out, and again I can't see it so I can't spell it apparently. And what I'm going to do now is see where the kerning is? This is why I don't really love using this letter kerning. It keeps it for all your fonts, so I'm just going to change that back to zeros. And what I'm going to do now is find a font that I like. There's a ton of really, really great fonts out there, and some of my favorites are things like Moonflower and Melanie, and I like Magnolia Sky and Wheat Point. So you can kind of play around and see what fonts you like, but I'm going to find a really fun like swirly font, because those are really fun to do these knockouts with, and they're just a lot of fun to play with. Pictogram is probably one of my favorites for doing the knockout, so I think we'll go with Pictogram. Now I am going to change the color of my word, and all I'm going to do is just down here at the bottom, right there at the bottom, is I'm going to go ahead and just choose any color and select that. Doesn't matter what color you pick, you can pick any color that you want. Now what you're going to do is again go to your selection tool up in the upper right hand corner, and I'm going to go to Path, Object to Path, Object, Ungroup, Path, and Union. Now what I'm going to do is I want to resize the crafting so that I like the way it looks under my word happy. I want it pretty big because I want it to cover up some of the word, but I do want it still obvious what it says. So I'm going to have it sit a little bit low because I don't want to cut off the entire center of the A. Now what we're going to do is, just like when we did our offset, is we are going to do path, linked offset. Now what you need to do is pick any color, it doesn't matter because this is going to go away, and pull your diamond out to however big you want your offset to be. I like kind of a chunky offset when I do this. And now what you're going to do is go to Path, Object to Path, and then I like to move my letters off, so my red letters, I like to pull them off just so I can get a better idea of what this is going to look like when I go to take it apart from my happy. I think it looks pretty good, so I'm going to select both happy and crafting by just drawing a block over everything and making sure everything is within that block. Now all you're going to do is go to Path and go to the word difference, which is right under Union. Now you'll see that it's taken off everything where that purple spot was, and you can move the word crafting right on up in there wherever you want it. And now you have this really cute design. Now we can color this when we go into design space, so don't worry about that. But I am going to size it down a little bit just so that when it goes into design space it isn't huge. So again, I just select everything and I'm just going to put it in the middle of this square. That makes sure when you preview it, it shows. So all we're going to do now is click File, Save As, and I'm just going to save this in my Cricut folder, and I'm just going to call it Happy Crafting. Now we can go over to Cricut Design Space and load this in. Over in Cricut Design Space, go ahead and open up a new project and click Upload. All we're going to do here is click Upload Image and then Browse. You're going to go to whatever folder that you saved this in, so I saved this over here in my Cricut folder, and I'm going to find my Happy Crafting. Now yours may show as an Internet Explorer document, Chrome, Safari, Microsoft Edge, Firefox, something like that. And that's totally okay. It's just the way your computer is set up. You don't have it set to open SVGs in a default program. But that's okay. So just find that file and it's Happy Crafting right there. And you'll see that it's going to pull this right in. And again, you guys can download this free right on my website. I will link it down below for you guys. So if you want to use this design, you feel free. I love this. I think it's really fun to do this way. And I wanted to show you guys how easy this was. So what I'm going to do is click my Happy Crafting and insert my image. Now again, remember I sized it down so it wouldn't open super big. Cricut Design Space and Inkscape, they don't really communicate real well when it comes to sizing, so it's usually best just to size it in Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a lot bigger. We're going to go ahead and put this on a shirt. So I'm going to make this about 9 inches. I think that's pretty good, and I really think this is fun, but we're going to use the Siser Electric, so let's choose some colors. I chose my 3 favorite electric colors, so Peacock, which is kind of teal, Copper, which is a really pretty goldy bronze color, and Cherry, which is more pink. I'm going to do the Peacock and the Cherry together. I think those would be really, really fun. So I'm going to go ahead and ungroup this really quick. That way I can easily change the colors just to see which way I want to do this. Now, if you didn't know, you can actually go into your advanced and change your color and try to get it a little bit closer to the color that you are using if you want to give that a try. So I think that's really pretty close to the peacock. And then I'm going to do this one in the cherry. So I'm going to go to advanced, and all you do is slide this little slider, and then you can kind of mess around with your colors and just see what looks pretty close. It doesn't have to be exact because Cricut Design Space doesn't know it. It's more for your visual than anything else. I actually really love that, and I think it's going to be really, really fun on a shirt. So let's go ahead, and all we have to do now is just hit Make It. That's the beauty of an SVG. They are pretty much ready to go. Now, you do want to make sure when working with Siser Electric that you do mirror your project. So we're going to go ahead and right here on the Make It screen, just clicking on the little mirror button, or you can go back and flip it on your canvas, which is usually what I prefer to do. If you haven't worked with Siser Electric before, I do recommend doing some test cuts. Just a small star works really, really well, just to make sure that your machine is going to cut it properly before doing a large design. But what we're going to do is I'm going to show you where to find the material, cutter, and press settings. This is a super handy tool, and I will link this down below. But this is on the 143 Vinyl website. All you have to do is click here to download the file. A lot of people print them out. I don't tend to print mine out because they do update them quite often, especially when they add new materials. So I just like to look it up online. But it's all in alphabetical order. So we're going to scroll down. The first 2 pages are adhesive vinyl, and then you have pages 3, 4, and 5, which are going to be your HTV. So we're going to scroll right down here, and we're going to find Siser Electric, which is right here in the center of our screen. If you have a Cricut, you're going to cut on Everyday Iron On. Then they also have silhouette settings and Brother Scan and Cut settings. Now we have our pressing time and temp right here. And for Siser Electric, it is 305 for 10 to 15 seconds. And this is a medium pressure, and this can be a cold or hot peel. So whatever works best for you, you can absolutely do. So we're gonna get this cut out on our machine. Again, you're gonna set that to Everyday Iron On a Cricut, or you can reference this for Silhouette and Brother Scan and Cut. We're gonna go over to the machine, and I'm gonna show you guys how to load the HTV on there. We're gonna get it all cut out, weighted, and then I can't wait to show you guys how fun this is to apply to a shirt. These are the 2 colors that we're using. Peacock is this teal one, and then cherry is this kind of pinky fuchsia. We're gonna start with the peacock, and all I'm gonna do, if you look, one side on this is very dull, doesn't have the same color as this side, which is the shiny side. This is the carrier sheet side, so you wanna make sure that you put that carrier sheet side down, and all I'm gonna do is just place it on to my mat. Now I am using an off-brand mat from Monocut. I get these off of Amazon. They're so much cheaper than the Cricut mats, and honestly, I think they last longer. So now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and load my machine. And you wanna make sure that you get your mat under the little white tabs, and then give a little pressure at the back or the sides of your mat when you're loading your mat. It just helps it come all the way through. So we're gonna go ahead and just watch this cut. It's really, really easy. I'll let you guys watch this cut, and then I'll weed it. This on a Hanes Comfort Soft heavyweight, and this is a 100% cotton shirt, so super easy. So I like to just mock mine up before I even go over to my press, and I know that this isn't straight or anything. I just like to set it down, figure out where it's gonna go together, and then from here I will move it around and see where I want to put it. So you want to go about 3 fingers down from your neckline if it's a standard neck. If it's a V-neck or a scoop neck, you're going to want to go maybe 1 to 1.5 fingers down, depending on how deep the V or the scoop is. So what I'm just going to do, what I like to do, and I don't know if everyone likes to do this, but I will fold mine in half, and I crease, put just a little crease in the transfer tape where the center is, and that helps me center it on my shirt. And then all I'm going to do is go about 3 fingers down, And I'm gonna just make sure it's straight and centered. That looks pretty good. So I'm gonna press this in 2 presses. So I'm gonna press the teal part first, and then I'm gonna press the cherry next. So what I wanna do, and I can't peel this apparently, these are pretty sticky. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is peel this part off. Now remember, we looked up our pressing time and temp for this already when we went to the 143 Vinyl website. So we're gonna go ahead and get our heat press all set. You can do this with an iron or an easy press as well. Whatever you have should work fine. But if you're using a home iron, make sure that you don't have any of the steam on and that you are pressing with firm pressure on a hard surface. So I'm gonna go get this over on my heat press, get that all set up, and then we can get this pressed. We have our heat press set to 305, and we are gonna press our first layer for just a few seconds. Usually about 3 to 4 seconds will do, just enough to tack it down. That way you're not over pressing and you're not overheating, and it's not gonna shrink too much when you do this. So I like to just make sure any little hairs are off my shirt, double check that my vinyl is where I want it, and then all I'm gonna do is just bring my press down for just a couple of seconds. Now I have the 15 by 15 Starcraft heat press in mint, and I absolutely love this. Everyone always asks me where I got it. I will link it down below. So again, we're just gonna go ahead and peel our carrier sheet, and don't worry, it's not done. So don't fret that it looks not like on the shirt really, really well, because we are gonna go ahead and press that a full time for this press. So all I'm gonna do is just lay this down where I want it, and you just kind of get it lined up where it goes, wherever you want it, whatever looks right. That looks pretty good. Now I do have a Teflon sheet attached to my heat press. I just used some magnets. I'll link where I got these magnets down below as well for you guys. But now when we do this press, we are going to do a full press. So we're going to do that full 15 seconds. Now I pull my press up before it beeps, so I actually have mine set to 16 seconds. The beep bothers my pets, so I just try not to let it beep. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is pull it up just before it beeps, and then we can peel, and then we'll be all done. It's a really simple project. Layering HTV is not as scary as people make it sound. It's really, really fun. It's really easy, and you end up with these beautiful projects. Now, we do have a little bit of a line right now from the carrier sheet here, but don't worry, that will go away. As you wear it and wash it, it goes away. It's just there because it's warm. So I'm going to take this over to the table and show you guys what it looks like. Here is the finished shirt. This was so fun and really, really easy to do, and you guys can do any designs that you want. And again, you can get the free SVG for the little happy crafting at my website, linked down below. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see more mystery boxes, let me know that as well. Mystery box was so fun for me, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. We still have a few more videos coming out for you guys on how to work with some of the products in the mystery box. Again, Siser Electric is a fun product and can be used on all sorts of textiles, including tote bags and towels and t-shirts. Get creative. Be really fun with this. This is very, very cute on dog bandanas as well. I really love the sheen that it gives off. It's really, really cool, and I'll see if I can get you guys some of that shine. See how that shine is? It's not like a foil shine. It's kind of more of a matte shine, but it's so pretty, and I'm so happy with the way that this turned out. I can't wait to wear my little slogan around all the time. I hope you guys had fun. If you guys have questions, let me know in those comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Make sure you hit that big red subscribe button down below if you have not already. And be sure to check out my community tab here on YouTube. I try to post any of the fun things that we're doing there as well. You can also join my Facebook group linked down below, and my newsletter for my website also linked down below for you guys. I have a wonderful day, and happy crafting!